and 5 in this case. Arrays start at 0 by default. You can call an array to start at a different number, but by default they're listed from 0 to the end. So when figuring out the length of your array, if it has a definite length, this is 0 through 5, but there are 6 items. So you have to remember that. And what an array does is it stores values at each of these points, which are called indexes. So at index 0, I could have a picture of a watermelon, and at index 2, I can have a picture of an orange. Using an array, I can say display the image at index 2, and it will display an orange, instead of having to randomly call the actual file name 2.jpg. So I can name my file orange, and when I put it in the array, as long as orange falls in the second index, it will call it by, well, it'll call it by 2, because the math.random is looking for this number 2 index, but I'll know it as orange. It's kind of hard to explain. I'll show you in a minute. Alright. So first you can use / to comment out a line of text. Even though this looks like it's on 2 lines, it's actually one whole line that has been wrapped around, and that is why I don't have to do it on both sides. So we're going to get some space in here. And the first thing you have to do with an array is create a variable of an array. Mine is going to be called picture array. You can call yours whatever you want. And the syntax isn't so strict when you're declaring a variable. It makes it easier for me to read if the next word is capitalized. But definitely with established methods, math.floor and math.random, the math has to be capitalized, otherwise it won't run. So we're going to do var picture the pictures array equals new array, which also has to be capitalized, and opening and closing parentheses. You have to put those there. What this does is it creates a new array, and right now it's empty. So we are going to fill it. So pictures array equals bracket, open bracket, and open parentheses. And for ease of typing, I have used only 2 or 3 letters for my array. If you want to call on pictures you have saved and it has a really long name, like, I don't know, first vacation at the beach, you can type out first vacation at the beach. It'll work. But just for ease of typing, I've shortened them to letters. So the first one we have is, and then we want to close our bracket, and again, semicolon. It's a good practice. Now, we're going to use the same document.write, so we write to the body of the text. So we're still going to open up an image tag, we're still going to have the source with that /, and we're still going to concatenate, but the difference comes here, where we put our array and the bracket. And inside the bracket, that is where we put our math.floor with our dimensions, including the math.random method, times, in this case, 7. And close parentheses here, close the bracket. And we're going to concatenate then the file name and close that. And close the tag. Close and parentheses. And semicolon. Control S to save. Right. Oh, another good thing is in Notepad++, if you haven't saved, this is red, and when you do, it's blue. So that's a handy knowing whether you saved something or not. Okay. So right now you can see it looks pretty much the same as just calling a random image. The only difference is the pictures array that contains the math.floor and the math.random and the range of your pictures. So that's the only difference. And what this does is you have your picture array and you have your brackets, which are your brackets here are the same as the brackets here. So within this, pictures array and pull from here. Now you have to make sure, of course, just like just calling them randomly by number, that each of your pictures, EAF, it has that name, because it's going to look at pictures array and it's going to look for EAF, and then it's going to pull whatever index that is here for math.random. So in this case it's number 6. So it's going to look at the array and it says I pulled number 6. So we're going to look at number 6 and we have EAF. What's EAF? Oh, it's this one over here. So I'm going to close and relaunch it. So you see it's still this random image. And how lovely, it pulled the same image. But it does still do the random, it still works. Oh, must have been a fluke. Yeah, so there you go. So that is how you do a random image on a refresh of a page, and how you do a random image from a refresh of a page using arrays.